pleasure in midlife, pleasure in perimenopause, pleasure in menopause, pleasure beyond. Pleasure gets to be experienced in every chapter, in every phase, in every stage of our life. Pleasure has got no age limit. A few years ago, when I started exploring pleasure in a lot more depth, I had conversation with women about pleasure in menopause and midlife. At that stage, it was quite interesting to hear, but I wasn't as invested because at that time I was like, oh, I still got time, when it comes around, then I will go deeper into that. I am turning 40 next year. And over the last few weeks, I had a few things popping up where I started to wonder, hmm, let me have a look into that. Out of the sudden, I find myself needing to write a shopping list or a list for things to remember, which is so unlike me. Even my daughter was like, Mom, like usually you don't write shopping lists. I'm like, yeah, I know, but recently I've come back and like I forgot a couple things. Or I have a conversation and I'm like, what did I just wanted to say? Brain fog. I've also realized my sleep hasn't been as great as it used to be. I have certain joint movement where I'm like, that feels a little bit different as well. And then also some weight changes, some body changes, and most of all, changes in my menstrual cycle, which has been over the last few months getting shorter and shorter, where I have now 21 days, 23 days. And I'm just, wow, it comes around faster and faster. And mood changes. And when I say mood changes, I'm not speaking about the mood changes that we usually experience when we are in our winter, in our summer, in spring, so the menstrual cycle changes. But mood changes like a roller coaster in the 24 hours. Waking up, having, oh, it's such a great day. Whoa, it's not a great day. Whoa, it's such a great day. Whoa, it's not a great day. Like going really skyrocketing, where I had moments, jeez, I didn't know you can have such a roller coaster of mood changes within 24 hours. And all of those little moments made me realize I might have to look into that. And then discovered I have entered perimenopause. I am turning 40 next year. And then through that, I've realized I'm a woman in her midlife. And that kind of hit me because I thought, I still got time, this is like, it's going to be later. I'm turning 40 next year. I was pretty much probably in like denial. I'm like, yeah, whatever, it will come around. I've got time. And I've realized the time is now. The time is now to explore pleasure in perimenopause, pleasure in menopause, pleasure in midlife. Everything that comes my way, I approach with, how can I make that pleasure lit? How can I bring pleasure into that? So instead of focusing on the negatives that we get sold quite often around midlife, perimenopause, menopause, of the hot flashes, the libido changes, that our libido might drop, that we are going to dry out, that our health is going to be impacted, that our emotional well-being is going to be impacted. There's going to be different in body image, weight changes. We might put some weight on, we might keep it a little bit more in our belly area. There is a lot happening because our body is changing. Our hormones are changing. And I'm not available for approaching things with focusing on the negatives. I'm available for bringing in pleasure. How can I work with my body? Not against my body, but with my body through this period of time, through this phase in my life. How can I bring pleasure in it? How can I experience pleasure in perimenopause, in midlife. And as you also might know, I'm a pleasure explorer by heart. I love to explore, and once I have found my project, I'm going deep. So this is the opportunity for me to go and study and expand my expertise to bring pleasure into midlife, specifically through perimenopause, menopause, and beyond. For women, to go deeper into fitness, nutrition, sex, tantra, yoga, somatics, female health. Because I already have the backgrounds and the certifications and qualifications in those areas, I'm now going to go deeper into bringing that with me and adding the pleasure lit ingredient, meaning I'm going to build Pleasurelit Midlife, which will be a library, a space holding everything that I'm going to discover, that I am going to experience, explore, and building that basically with you. So if you are a woman in her midlife, in perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause, I would love to hear from you. Have you got specific questions? What has been your experience so far? What's been your challenges? Have you got any tips, recommendations? I am extremely excited about this because Pleasurelit Midlife is the opportunity to bring everything together, to bring pleasure into all areas of our life. If you've read my book, my best-selling book, The Pleasurelit Way, you will know about the pathways of pleasure, the portals to pleasure, how important it is that we look after our body and our health, how important it is to fuel and nourish your body with healthy nutrition. And not just that, but also bringing in the pleasure of mindfully eating and eating in a way that brings you pleasure, dropping into our body, mindfulness, movement, fitness, sleep, stress management, relationships, pleasure, self-pleasure, nervous system regulation, emotional regulation, women's health, somatic practices, and exploration and play. This is the opportunity for women in midlife to live the pleasure-lit way. Midlife, perimenopause, menopause shouldn't be just a phase in our life that we try to manage, try to survive. We can bring pleasure into that period of time. We can access our pleasure in that period of time because pleasure is nervous system regulating. It's nourishment. It's our power. It's life force energy. It's actually the fuel. So when we access our pleasure, we can live pleasure lit in midlife. So pleasure lit midlife will be a beautiful addition to the pleasure lit world because pleasure lit will meet you where you're currently at. For example, if you feel disconnected from your body, then I suggest to enroll into the Pleasurelit Woman program because that is my Pleasurelit Alchemy program, which guides you from disconnected to pleasurelit. It's identity work. It goes really deep into transformation. If you are already exploring your pleasure, or you've got a topic or a certain area that you would like to explore more of to expand or widen your pleasure capacity, I recommend to have a look at my Pleasurelit online courses. Those range from Tantra, kink, breathwork, Pleasurelit magic, worship, and many other delicious pleasures. You can also apply for one-on-one work with me through coaching, sessions, and mentorship. And you're invited to join the Pleasurelit community, where we connect and where we explore pleasure together. For more details and to join, go to pleasurelit.com/links. If you are a woman in her midlife, I would love to let you know that you are not alone. We are in this together. And take a moment to drop into your body, asking yourself, what does your body need in this period of life? What would feel nourishing? and just pick one before it gets overwhelmed and there are so many things you would like to change. Just tune into what feels most relevant right now. And then start there. Give yourself what you need in that moment. And along with that, also don't forget you are allowed to desire and to long for things as well. And needing and desires doesn't necessarily has to be the same. So also ask yourself, what do I desire in this period of my life? Feel free to follow along and join the Pleasurelit community to be involved in building Pleasurelit Midlife. Sending you lots of love and pleasure. Mwah.